inside the Niger Delta.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, says the forensic audit ordered by President Muhammadu Buhari to probe the activities of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, from its inception till date was not to witch hunt any individual group, but to unravel the rot in the system and reposition it for improved service delivery. Senator Akpabio gave the assurance last week at the tripartite meeting with officials of the NDDC and lead consultant for the forensic audit of the Commission in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja.
Following a recent approval given to the lead consultant for the forensic audit of the NDDC by the Bureau of Public Procurement, the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs had convened a tripartite meeting of stakeholders to deliberate on ways to carry out the exercise in line with international best practices. Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who presided over the meeting, underscored the need for all parties involved in the forensic audit to be committed to the objectives of the Presidential Directive on the probe of the NDDC activities. He said the exercise was aimed at revamping an ailing commission and not to victimize innocent citizens.
We will even audit the annual audit reports. We will unveil the veil of incorporation. We will follow the money and know how well the money was utilized. And in some instances where the need arises, we will be able to recoup evidences that could even lead to prosecution. That is not the intention here. We are not interested in prosecuting people. We can also recoup evidences that could lead to reform of monetary commission, where we find out that the amount of money paid out, did not meet the quantum of work seen on the ground.
With the commencement of verification and documentation of all interim payment certificates and outstanding contract award letters, the forensic audit of the NDDC is already underway. Senator Akpabio enjoined all parties involved in the NDDC probe to work closely with the ministry in its quest to supervise a credible process that is expected to midwife a brand new NDDC.
It has to be managed and supervised from the Ministry of Niger Delta, and of course in close consultation with Mr. President. So this is a very serious exercise. Your integrity must be kept intact at all times.
So far, the groundwork for the forensic audit of the NDDC has been established, and all parties involved look forward to a thorough process to be coordinated by the lead consulting firm approved by the Bureau of Public Procurement.
So far, so good. The meeting has been very enlightening. All the parties are quite impressed, and at the end of the day, everyone is satisfied that the course of action chosen by the ministry is indeed incredible.
The process has started by the verification exercise, and now we have done this tripartite meeting. The entire stakeholders have been brought together, and of course we will move forward from here. We want to assure Nigerians that we will have a good outing.
It is no gainsaying the fact that the process governing the forensic audit of the NDDC will be scrutinized by most Niger Deltans, some of whom are already setting an agenda for the presidency.
This probe will bring up, or rather throw up, a lot of factors that is bedeviling the Commission. And I salute the courage of Mr. President and the Minister of Niger Delta for initiating this probe. And very particularly, the choice of the acting MD. Truth be told, it is clear that a lot of contractors have benefited wrongly from the Commission.
If you look at the anti-corruption posture of Mr. President, you understand that he's somebody that has zero tolerance for corruption. So I think one of the main things this administration needs to do in the NDC is to have a forensic audit on all the top directors in NDDC themselves. NDDC, for your file to move from table A to table B, you must know somebody. You must talk to somebody. Business cannot be done in that way at all.
The outcome of the forensic audit is expected to establish a new governance structure that will transform the NDDC into a result-oriented commission.
Inside the Niger Delta.